skinny. Okay, don't worry folks, just like Tom's genitals, this speech won't get long. Like Tom mentioned, my name's Jacob and I'm the best man today. And it's my role to give the groom the most unpleasant and uncomfortable 5 minutes of his life. Because he'll be doing the same with the bride later tonight. And that's a compliment. Usually it lasts for 2 minutes. Still, 90 seconds longer than me. I go by many nicknames, Big Boy being one of them, the Love Machine being another. But when I'm with Tom, I'm more commonly known as the better looking one. I've had the fortune of knowing Tom for almost 10 years now, and it always seems to be the case that I've been the punchline to all of his jokes. Whether it's to do with my weight or my size, or jokes about my lack of size in certain areas, or my many professions working in fast food restaurants such as McDonald's and KFC. And today being his day, I thought I'd put that all aside and be the humble Christian man that I am and talk nothing but positives and high praise for him. But then I thought, bollocks to that, he deserves every minute of torture he gets. It is nice to see Tom's finally settled down with the woman of his dreams though, with her true hallmarks of a gracious lady, her beautiful big brown eyes, and her cute pointy ears, and a snow white fur. But unfortunately, Tom's dog Ruby couldn't make it today, so Carlie's decided to fill in instead. Tom is a straightforward thinking man though, who when he sets himself a goal, he aims to reach it no matter what obstacle may fall in his way. He'll break through them and carry on to his destination. And he's a man that will never ever look back. Because if he did look back, he'd see the shit stains that he leaves in the toilet bowl. Tom has come a long way in his life. For the moment, he is the COO of Romex Canada and he owns an apartment in North Vancouver with his beautiful wife, Carlie. Well, I say he owns it, Carlie actually owns 99% of it. But it's not always been easy for Tom. At the young age of 16, he was out in the local town of Fyvie, where he had had too much to drink, and the school's dinner lady, Mrs. Mackenzie, spotted a young Master Cook, barely able to walk, drunk on the street with vomit all down himself. Mrs. Mackenzie got onto the phone to Tom's dad, Martin, and told Martin the state that Tom was in. Martin came and picked him up like any good father would do and taught Tom a lesson. When they got back to the family home, Martin took Tom's younger brothers to watch and learn from their older brother's mistake. He then must... Hello. I'll just carry on. He then washed him down outside the house with the garden hose, getting all the vomit and bodily fluids off of him. And then he was ordered inside to help. He was then ordered inside the house to get changed with the help of his mother Helen. After he did get changed, he was sitting down on the living room sofa, looking miserable and smelling twice as bad, and then he proceeded to urinate on the sofa. But now, Tom lives in Vancouver, so Martin and Helen are passing that baton on to you, Gordy and Laurie. You've been given the guidelines of what to do if this ever happens again, but this time just make sure you put plastic sheets on the sofa. But all jokes aside, today is about the bride. Carlie, you look absolutely beautiful. You're simply a wonderful and stunning woman who deserves a brilliant husband. So I really don't understand what happened here. Carlie's love, charity and care knows no bounds, because for the past 5 years she's volunteered as Tom's support and care worker, constantly looking after him, feeding him, cleaning up any stains he leaves behind and getting rid of any bad smells, odour or stinks he may create. I met Tom back in 2009 at Camp Farley when I was a fresh-faced 19-year-old boy. He took me under his wing and showed me the way of the world, not realising that he had already... God damn it. Not realising he had already caused a stir at camp by getting all the councillors banned from using the kayaks and canoes from the weekend due to his drunken misdemeanour. Fortunately, Tom was a lifeguard, albeit a drunk one at the time, so he managed to save the day after ruining it for everyone. After a few summers of working hard with him and partying even harder, we decided it was time to grow up and become more mature. So we chose to do a spot of travelling to Southeast Asia, with Tom being the brains and myself being the brawn. And it was actually on a boat trip in Halong Bay where this love story started out. Myself, Krista, Carlie, Tom, and Matt, who can't be with us today, made friends with each other, told stories about our travels, and we sang and danced the night away. I actually remember my first question to Carlie and Krista after finding out they were Canadian was, what's a hoser and what's a hosehead? Turns out Tom's the hoser and I'm the hosehead. The following morning, Carlie and Krista left the boat to carry on with their travels, leaving myself, Matt, and a newly heartbroken Tom behind. In Tom's upset mood, he decided to kick a bin off the side of the boat in a tantrum and sat down sobbing like a 7-year-old girl who lost her favourite red balloon. I said, Tom, what's up, mate? Man United lose or something? And he said, no, it's that Carlie. She's just a nice girl, the best girl I've ever met. And through his tear-filled eyes, I knew that behind the small man syndrome that he suffers from and his Napoleon complex, that this red-haired typical Scotsman can still get feelings. And he was so I said to him, Tom, you've caught lightning in a bottle there, mate. Don't let her go. And he did exactly that. Tom got onto Facebook and messaged Carlie, mentioning that our next destination was Laos, and that her and Krista should meet up with us again, which they did. And that's what brings Tom and Carlie here today, sitting side by side, happily married to one another. This couple show the true essence of love and care, not only for themselves and each other, but also their friends and family. I myself moved to Canada in January after a lot of nagging from Tom, because he needed a drinking buddy. And they both allowed me to stay for several weeks in their beautiful apartment until I find my own place. I was considered their third pet after their dog Ruby and their cat Marlin. But as much as I believe the apartment to be perfect as it is, I think they're going to do some DIY to it. Because I was talking to Tom and he mentioned that after wedding there's going to be a lot more banging and nailing going on. I just want to thank you both from the depths of my heart for being such great friends to me, but also for being such a great couple to each other. It's honestly been a real pleasure to watch us along as your love has grown for one another. So to thank you, here's some tips, tricks and advice from Jacob's Book of Marriage. Tom, there's 5 simple words you need to know. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Carlie, if you want Tom to shut up, just make him something to eat. Tom, if at first you don't succeed, try doing the way your wife told you. Carlie, a husband is not like hardwood floor. Lay it right and you can walk all over it for the rest of your life. And Tom, Oscar Wilde famously said, the man who says his wife can't take a joke forgets that she's took him. But with this love story, like many others, it has a meaning. And the meaning is that wherever you may be in the world and at whatever stage in your life, you may always find love. It doesn't matter if you're just down the road from each other or on the other side of the world. With continuous effort and with the love and support from your friends and family, you can make that love true like Thomas and Carlie have done today. As Nat King Cole sang, love was made for me and you, and love was definitely and truly made for these two. So if you'd like to stand with me and raise a glass so we can toast.